Hello, everyone, to the episode 5 of Nidal Haykal Live with a very interesting and unique guest for today. My guest is Carina Dorthy Krehl, and she will correct for me if I didn't say it well. She is immersive tech, visual, and concept artist. She is the Renaissance woman on a mission to connect with love. She is a teacher, designer, and a civic leader. Let's all welcome the artista, Dorothy.
Yay! You said it right. Thank
Hello,
you so much.
Dorothy. What grade do I get for the introduction? Was it
I
good?
would say that was a solid A minus. I feel like the only way it could be an A plus is if you brought some like spirit fingers in with it and was
Was
like,
it? Yeah.
bring in that. But it was a really good. It was a really good intro.
We were talking about the age, so maybe 10 years before I will be dancing,
Yeah,
TikToking.
yeah. TikTok.
How are you doing, Dorothy? How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I really am. I've been feeling very balanced. We were talking a little bit backstage about just the importance of like, yes, keeping the momentum and working and having a strict schedule, but also just allowing a little bit of time to relax and taking space and all of that. So that's what I've been reflecting on a lot today. I decided to have the morning go a lot slower than what I've been accustomed to over the past couple of weeks, and I needed that.
I see. And you master, the balance stuff. There's a balance in your art. There is a balance in your fridge, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's all vegetables, right?
And fruits.
And fruits, yeah, and fruits. So
I
it's
have
a
proteins, just no meats. But that's just a preference.
yeah. You lost me now.
Yeah, no
You know,
dairy either.
yeah,
So there you go. No meat, no
yeah.
dairy.
Karina, I know we have a limited time. Your schedule is so busy. I really appreciate being with us today. I'm a big fan of your art style and leads. So I don't know if I'm in a position to give thumbs up, but you deserve it. Uh,
Oh,
I'm gonna go straight. I had a couple of questions to cover some topics. So, Karina, you are an artist, performer,
mhm.
and I love your ballet dancing. My daughters do ballet too, so I'm a fan. You are a civic leader and much, much more. Your art is special and unique, and you entered lately the NFTs world, which
Yeah.
is the non fungible tokens.
Hmm.
Congrats, by the way, on selling your first two pieces.
Thank you.
Karina, I I see you. You did a quantum leap in
Mhm.
time. You went forward. I want you to tell us, how do you see Karina today?
Oh my gosh, that's like such a simple question, but it's hard to answer. First of all, that was A plus plus introduction. That was really, really
Oh, really? You
yes. You pointed out things that I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I remember now. No, not really. I do feel like I am all of those things. Karina today is all of those things. I see myself evolving constantly, day in and day out, and so it's interesting to try to remain present, or not even to try, just to remain present and be able to see with all of that, the word quantum, like the quantum, it's this expansive space of like multiverse and planes that we exist on all simultaneously. And with the art, I have this very abstracted perspective of time and of space itself. And that brings about a lot of very introspective and deep reflection on a person's individual existence and my individual existence and how that relates to the rest of the world and my life. And it's interesting because I don't know everything that's going to happen, but I do have these like clairvoyant abilities to have the vision, and I do see what the whole life, this whole life sort of, and how it plays out, and energetically, the events, the people, the timing, I don't know, just like no one else really knows, but the direction, I really, really have a very sensuous feeling of what that looks like. And so in my day to day, I just try to remember to remain present and observe the things around me in the physical, to not get too wrapped up in the dreams. So it's about that balance again.
But your art, Karina, is something new. It's three-dimensional.
Mhm.
I know you have like a solid paintings, but don't you think is the world ready for this kind of art?
I love that question. Wow, what a good question. No, the world is never ready, but that's when it's the right time. The world is never, I mean, yes, it is and not, like the world, think about it, when are we actually going to have the most pivotal moments?
Mhm.
When we are ready for it, or when the world wasn't prepared yet? Was America ready for the first Black president? Maybe not, but it was what we needed. Maybe before we were ready. Maybe it was long overdue. It really depends on how we look at it. But the way I see it, it's the perfect time, and maybe the world. Oh! I just read this last night, and in this book about the abstract expressionist era and the women who were pivotal in that movement in the 1950s.
Mhm.
And it was the perfect quote, and I don't remember the exact words, but it was something along the lines of answering this question, it was what society wasn't prepared for, but what humanity needed. And that's exactly how I see it. My art and the immersive art, this way that this futurist movement and this neo-surrealist movement is happening, and how I'm pivotal in that movement. Society might not be prepared for art like that, but humanity really, really needs it.
Are you struggling to introduce your art? Like, for me, when I first seen your art, it caught my eyes. So I felt I need to get more involved in knowing this art, and I enjoy it. It's really what I can call a piece of art. So, are you struggling? Like, do you think your audience, maybe your clients, we will come to this part. Do you think like what do you mean with this piece? Is it easy to be understood?
When I have conversation about the work, it's very easy for me to both, to me art is very much what I intended and what you perceive it to be, and those don't have to be the same thing. So
Exactly.
it's easy for me to have conversations about what I intended, while also being very open to hearing and asking those important questions of like, well, what do you see, and validating what the viewer sees, whether it's right or wrong in accordance to what I created. So in conversation, I would say that that's something that's very natural to me. Um, One thing that has been a challenge that I think every single day I get better at is communicating it through video and through, digital social interaction, because it's a lot easier. In the past, an artist puts up a painting on a studio gallery wall, and people walk in, and the artist could be there or the artist could not be there, but usually the artist is there so that they can have conversations with people and observe as they view it. Now I don't know that you even observe it, like I see the number that people view, I see how
Yeah.
many comments, but I can, well, unless someone really sits down and takes time to write out 2 paragraphs, which people do, which is like mind-boggling to me still. But even then, I understand what they're saying in the words that they use, but the energy behind it, there is a struggle there for me, and it's not because of an inability to connect. That's literally my mission. It's just there's this extra challenge now. How do I do that through the screens? So figuring it out.
Yeah. Are you happy with your experience so far with the tokens world?
Yeah, I am. And also, I know that there's so much that I have responsibility to be the voice of. Um, for example, I feel supported by my peers, but at the same time, it's really, really hard for women in this space right now. And that's just what I'm observing.
Mhm.
A lot of women are talked over. A lot of women are not selling artwork. I just sold my first two pieces and I've been in this space since January. Um, I know though that I've got so much more to offer and that I'm going to do fine, like financially, that I'm a very, very savvy and successful businesswoman. And a lot of artists struggle on those levels. But I recognize that I have responsibility to use my voice in a way that is moving us forward in a direction that is actually aligned with what NFTs really represent, which is self-sovereignty and autonomy and being, self-sustaining. And so there's a lot of room for us to grow in that direction. And it really does transcend issues of gender. And it's so much deeper than that. And I have that clarity. So I recognize being who I am and the voice that I have a great responsibility to develop this space in that way.
I wish you the best going this way. And can we still call the pieces a painting?
Sure. Yeah.
Like it's still a painting?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean,
It's
I
not digitally performed from A to Z.
no,
No.
no, not for me at least. Well, it's interesting. The VR is virtual reality is painted in 360. Like you've seen me go live and do
Yeah.
that. I consider those paintings, even though they are 100% digitally rendered. It's a painting though. It's not something that I create using a stylus.
Mhm.
The other works of art, the ones that I've sold, are actually digitized versions of pages from my book, which will be coming out this year. And it's
Wow.
there's there's scans and oh, thank you.
Let me take screenshots and publish.
Yeah, well, you can, but the
I
NFT will be going to me.
I love those. Wow, that's amazing.
So it's documented. I started in January 2020, January 1st. So
That's a smart idea, like to put this art in a book that, but one can carry it everywhere.
yeah, and I did, and I haven't. I add the physical elements of the world around me in the book. So there's blades of grass and matchsticks and grapefruit seeds and chips of paint. And eventually I'm going to do augmented reality with it as well.
Wow.
And you'll be able to hover your phone
So
over the screen and
this
it'll put you on
this is
screen.
gonna be your book, which is
Yeah.
wow. That's so smart, Karina.
Well, thank you. And I'm minting the pages individually as NFTs. So it becomes a form of passive income for something that already exists. And it's a way to cross market the products. Like you buy the NFT, you can get the physical book.
The
You buy the
physical
physical
book.
book, you learn about the NFT. And then the physical book will have a second edition that has augmented reality and you learn about the process of me making it. It'll pop up information and tell you like this page it has a piece of paper from this page of that book and that's going to be like very educational, so it's very much immersive and blended.
What time frame this book basically slash paintings
It
cover?
is so hard to tell what's about a
How
time frame for a book.
how many years you've been working on this?
Oh, I started January 1st of last year. So I'm basically done. The writing is done. I'm just working on formatting and I'm doing a book audit with someone that I'm supposed to be doing this month and it's already the 19th. So we'll see. But I have been moving forward with that because in my own way, I've been minting the pages as NFTs. So as I do that, I'm like typing out what the pages say, one by one. And it's a whole process, but it's giving me more clarity on what the actual format of the book should look like. And most importantly, what am I going to choose to omit? Because there has been a lot of things I've written about, and I have to be mindful because it's not fiction. Like, it's real. I don't change people's names. I don't change what happened in my life. It's all very intimate. If it was up to, it is up to me, but if I lived in a vacuum, I would just be like, here's everything. But I also want to be mindful of other people in my life and respectful. So that's something that I've reflected on, but I'm certainly not omitting some of the details. And, like, there are things that happen that are my story, and I'm also responsible to share because other people have gone through the same things and need that validation. I need to be able to say it too, to be able to process my own life. So
That's so interesting. I wish you all the best. It's really, but this is not going to be it's going to be a continuous project, right?
oh,
For other books in the future. It's like it's really amazing. It's like a gallery, and it's a book. It's amazing.
well,
Uh,
thanks.
Karina, you experienced the entrepreneurship on early ages. You sold your first drawing, and you was 5 years old. How much you made back then?
I love, you really did your research. This is so cool. I was 5 years old and I
I've
sold
seen
my
the
first.
I've seen the drawing. It's really amazing for a 5 years old.
That is so cool to me. Yeah, I sold it for $50. 50.
Really? What did you do with the money?
I'm sure I reinvested it in my business.
Yeah.
I'm positive. I sat on it and probably bought myself some colored pencils or some paper or some paint or something like that.
So you
Maybe an ice cream sandwich too. You got to enjoy life a little bit.
exactly, yeah. So you was an authentic entrepreneur, right?
Yeah, it's true. And it's like hilarious to me because it took me forgetting that and then remembering to really remember those stories. But yes, the truth.
Um, and here I want to ask you, how do you address your relationship with money?
Money has a soul to it. That's the most wise thing I've learned about money so far. And money has a flow, it's water. It's just like water. It embodies whatever form or whatever container we put it in. And just like a soul, it senses energy. And I've learned that I've had times where I've made money doing things that didn't feel right in my heart.
Mhm.
And then I've made less money doing something that felt really right in my heart and energetically. The second thing was the right thing to do. The first thing I could have lived without doing, but it taught me a valuable lesson, and it was that money has the soul to it. And just like that, when we spend money on something that's destructive to us, it ends up really hurting us. And when we spend money on something like giving it away or a philanthropic purpose, it feels very fulfilling. And the fact is that dollar or whatever form of
I
currency,
don't see. Yeah.
yeah, can really positively or negatively impact the human existence, like the world. And so that's my relationship with money as a whole, like as a medium. I view it as a medium. It's a medium of art, just like anything else. And that was, I have come from being broke. I've come from living on a very impoverished island. Growing up, I've had beautiful experiences of wealth and challenges of living below the poverty line. I've had a lot of contradictory experiences. Sometimes when we were struggling the most as a family financially, the appearances looked so regal.
So,
And when we were doing well, we lived on a quaint island house, so it's like, it's very interesting, those challenges that come up. But that's what I've learned, is that throughout the journey of being down to nothing, like literally being homeless at one point, having $50 to my name. Tell that to the 5-year-old version of me. Like, hold on to that.
Yeah.
You know, that was so eye-opening, and I just learned there's a million ways I can make it in this life, and I can do it in my name and my way, and it's a very empowering thing.
So it contributed to your success today.
Oh, absolutely. I'll never be that low again. I can tell you that, because I've built up my network, and your network really is your net worth. And now I've got these people.
Wow, I love that. Your network is net worth. Wow,
True.
that's amazing. I love
It's
that.
true. And I was so down and out during that time that I really felt like I was alone. And I was, to a certain degree. So how are you supposed to make it that way? It's really hard to, you know. But now I've built these relationships with people that I know I will never get that low again, because, well, I've just healed so much of myself. I was just so unhealed, and on all levels, it's all very interconnected. So it's interesting, but I'm grateful for that time in my life, and those times really in my life where I was falling and going down and down and down, because now I have such clarity and I have such gratitude. Like, it actually is making me emotional. Like, it's so much, it's perception. It's the way
It
you
is.
look at the
It
world.
is, yeah.
It really
But
is.
but you know, the way you are introducing it and showing the gratitude and showing the determination that I'm not going back, it's a lesson. It's a lesson that with the determination we can achieve, and I love this life approach. This is so valuable. Thank you, Karina. Karina, usually artists, they either express the audience's mood, or they create a new state and attract the audience to it. What kind of artist do you consider yourself? I'm
Your,
not gonna tell you.
your
I'm not
questions
gonna
are.
tell you how I see your art.
Oh, you're not going to tell me? Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. Your questions are right on the money. Like, I was just reflecting this morning. This is something I really struggle with, because I've got both of those sides to me. Like the highbrow art for the sake of creation, experiencing the soul. My art is mine. Process it as you will.
Without taking into consideration they're gonna understand it.
How is it going to be perceived, right? And then there's that side of me that is very, like, everything with intention, everything with a purpose, everything. How do I commoditize this? How do I capitalize off of this project, or is it scalable, or whatever, and so this is something I've been, like, really back and forth. And in my core being, I'm the first. I am create. I'm a channeler. I'm a conduit, and I'm learning now that the best way for me to really capitalize, commoditize, and scale what I do is to lean into the natural ways that I create, and all the rest will fall in line. It's only ever when I get wrapped up in what other people think that I really start to feel lost. So it's interesting, because it does take a balance. I can't just lock myself in my studio and create for myself. Some people can do that and be very happy with their lives, and it's not a judgment on those kinds of artists. I just know myself, and I need the connection, and I want the attention and the exposure and all that stuff. And there are trade-offs that have to be made. Like, I wouldn't lie to any artist emerging, or any person. Like, we have to be able to see what do people see and create something that they need. That's something I'm working to do better. But this is like a non-answer, sort of, because it's like I think I'm still discovering that about myself, to be really honest with you, Nidal.
And I think you are opening a highway towards your art to be legendary. No, I'm not just saying it to say,
I know. I feel
because
you.
the way you introduce your art, it's different. Like I've never enjoyed seeing a immersive painting. Introduce it to me, and like millions, and it builds up, and from time to time, I don't think it hurts if you okay, let's see what's the mood of the, because by the end of the day, it's all about the angle you express the painting, and you introduce it to the audience. But at the same talking, you are doing, uh, a new art. I'm personally, I told you, I'm a big fan. I loved it. I wish, I'll afford one to have a piece from your art before you will be okay. You have like three assistants to reach you, and you will be traveling all over the world. I can see it from now. You have a very promising future, and you're already there.
That's the part that really is like exciting and mind-boggling to me, because that's happening faster than I think I even anticipated.
You wasn't prepared.
I well, it's not. I mean, I'm there, but I'm not there, but I'm there. If that makes sense. Like I
It's
already
beyond.
have three assistants, basically, but they aren't the people that are standing in the way from people reaching me yet.
Uh,
But I have people that are helping me and work, and I'm getting to a point where I'm like, okay, I have teams of creative people surrounding me right now. This didn't happen by accident. I'm actively have been creating this. And no, I haven't traveled the world yet, but my passport's coming in the mail. Like these are real things. And all
you
I can
deserve.
say,
You deserve it, Karina. Your art deserve it to be well known.
you know, I don't know that any of us really deserve anything, but I accept it, and I humbly accept it to a point where I recognize that my talents and my gifts aren't mine. They are here for me to spiritually bring inner peace and bring about positive thinking to this whole world. And that's something that's so much bigger than me. I don't know that a person deserves something like that, or it could, but I think that's what places me uniquely in this high vibrational frequency, because if I really believed I was entitled to it, then I would be driven by my ego, and the impact I would have on this world would not be one of healing. There is an angelically powerful ability to heal, and that's what I channel. I don't do that alone.
That's well said. I'm impressed. I know we are approaching the time. I still have two questions. I have a lot of questions, but
We can take a few more. It's fine.
yeah. So now it comes to the disagreement with you, and
Yeah, I want to know what this is about.
so I think the man in general is not included in your art. Like no one can give leads to an artist what to include and not to include. And I know you are a big supporter of the women and the rights, and I'm a big supporter too. But my question is, you got ultimate support from your father, right? As long as with your mother within your career. Why you don't express this in your art as a little consideration for this ugly creature living with you, ladies?
Oh wow! You're
So,
asking why I
to
never why I never do men, or why I never make men in my art.
yes, like I can tell the lashes, the eye in your art, the woman body, like Karina, we deserve to be, considered in your art.
Oh, this is so funny. I'm laughing not at the question at all. I'm
And
laughing
not and
because I
not only this, you challenged it, the man in general. One of your posts while you was doing the sculpture, and you said, wait and see that women can do.
Well, actually, that was a woman who told me that. So the woman who told me I would never be able to sculpt a big bowl out of clay, that was a woman who told me that I didn't have male upper body strength.
Yeah.
So I will say that patriarchy has no gender.
Uh-huh.
People can there are a lot of backwards people out there, okay, saying things that don't make sense, where a lot of us are mismatched. And also it's a systemic, the man to me is not a man. The man is a systemized way of designing oppression, and that goes down on all levels and subcultures and subsects of culture and varying forms of minority existence. The man is responsible for the oppression of all kinds of people. And historically, the man was a bunch of men because that's the way that history unfolded. But there were a lot of very complacent women and active women in that. Phyllis Schlafly is a woman that I would place as a huge supporter of the patriarchy, and that was a woman who was against the feminist movement from the beginning, and she went head to head with Gloria Steinem a lot of the time. And so this is such a good question, because I want to make sure it's known that I love men, I really do, and I don't paint them in my art. And this is the reason why I started laughing was because I've gotten that question a really long time. I remember people asking me that in middle school. How come you don't ever paint, men? And I don't have a real answer. I just always, if I'm painting a figure, and I just always go to that space of divine feminine energy. And I paint a lot of androgynous looking people because I do think there's a beautiful blend of that energy. But I really don't sit down and I'm I'm going to paint a man. I really don't.
You don't have, but men also cry, and men also, suffer. So
yeah.
They deserve sometimes, it's not always, damn you, I'm not drawing a man, let's focus on ladies and women.
I don't know that it's always so conscious, but I am in my more conscious state of being. I will move forward with this. I really will. You'll start to see it, and that'll be because of something you challenging me. I really appreciate being challenged in this way, because this is something that's come up a lot in my life recently, and in varying ways on different levels, some more subtle and some more overt. But the feeling of love is something that transcends the designs that separate us, like gender, it's so, and the emotion transcends gender. Like you said, men are sensitive, and I think that's likely, this is beautiful. I think that's part of the healing.
I'm giving you leads here. There's parts of man, should be appreciated, especially these days, with the feminine movement. I feel sometimes, I'm scared to go outside. If I didn't open the door for a lady, I'm gonna be anti-feminine, racist. I don't know what they're gonna call me.
Yeah, that's rough. That is rough, and that's what I mean. This stuff has been coming up so much. Men are really afraid right now, and it's really.
But I'm not afraid from my wife. I live in a totally freedom. So
good. That's good. That's good. But yeah, this is so real. We deserve. We really need. We really need to be able to create a world where we aren't so angry at one another. But this is something I've been seeing a lot. But there's a lot of trauma that's happened collectively to women over the past really several thousand years, but especially in America over the past few decades. And that the rage is the language of the silenced. You get to a point where it's just finally. And so that's not okay to treat people that way. But I also understand where that emotion comes from. I really understand too how that doesn't actually help in our healing, and men actually are in need of a lot of healing during this time, and that's what's really going to end up healing all of us, is, you know, to heal those who have caused so much harm collectively and generally, not and on an individual level, but hopefully that translates as it's intended to.
Karina, I know I crossed the limits with time wise, and I have a couple pages to cover, but two things I want to share. I know you are on several social media platforms. If you would like to share with the audience your future projects, where they can find your art. And I included, you see, art by CDK. It's and your web page. Yes, please. If you till my last question, and
Yeah,
unluckily, I have this limited time, chatting with you.
that's
I
okay. That's
I
okay.
respect those valuable, minutes you gave me. But
No, I appreciate it. This has been a really great conversation. And I can take that last question or last two, and I'll just try to be very, very succinct because I know it's on me. I'm the one
yeah,
that goes on and on. It's okay. For my social media, you could do TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse at Carina Krehl. That's Carina Krehl. You can find me on LinkedIn with the name that's listed right there. You can find me on YouTube or Spotify by searching CDKX or just my name. You'll find me. And my website is where you can find merchandise or the gallery of all of my work. I've got a book coming out, I've got merchandise available, I've got all kinds of offers where I sit down. I actually just come out with an offer where I'm doing LinkedIn banner design and a package for that. So something to be able to do this more often, to sit down with people and really just talk to them about like, what do you do? And design something for them using my skill sets so we can bond a little bit better one-on-one. So that answers that.
and you also have live shows, right?
Yes,
3 days a week,
I
right?
do live. I try to keep it 3 a week. It's Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday at 5:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, and also I've got the NFTs available out on OpenSea. So you'll just search Carina Krehl and you can see my virtual reality work and any digital assets available for purchase.
Amazing. My last question, I'm going to give you four words, and
Okay.
I want you to arrange them, the how important they look to you.
Oh, okay. This is gonna be hard. All right.
Yeah, it's a kind of a game.
Okay.
Those words are woman, freedom, art, and the word myself, meaning yourself.
Mm.
So it's woman, freedom, art, and myself. How would you arrange them?
Freedom, art, self, woman.
Wow. I don't know why I figured you're gonna put freedom first.
It's for everybody. So is
And,
art. Myself comes before any role that I play or an identification.
and the way you arrange them means a lot. Uh, Thank you, Karina, for being with us today. I have goosebumps, and I wish you all the best. And try to remember us when you are a celebrity. So, and
I will definitely always
yeah,
remember everyone.
and please consider man in your art. It's
I will.
yeah. So, um, anything you want to share before? I know you have your things to do. So, if you would like to say anything to the audience, it's all yours.
I just want to say I really appreciate you, Nidal, and I know you continually show up and support me in various ways, and it really does mean a lot to me. And now I've been able to sit down with you and have this conversation. I hope we get to have another one soon. And for everyone
Definitely.
watching, I also feel this wellspring of gratitude. I'm amazed at the impact that my art can have on people. And I know that that's a great responsibility. And so being challenged in the way that you challenged me, Nidal, I welcome it to the highest degree.
Challenge accepted. Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
And thank you so much, Karina. You are a unique person, and stay shining as you are doing. I really appreciate all the leads you provide every day. Thank you again, and stay safe.
You as well. Be blessed. Thank you.
Bye. To everyone, thank you for being with us today, episode 5 of the second season of Nidal Haykal Live. My guest was the artista, the amazing Carina Dorthy Krehl. I had an amazing chat with her. She's a unique person. You can connect with Carina on basically all the major social media platforms, or visiting her website to check her art, the immersive one, the 3D one, www.carinakrehl.com. Also, she's on LinkedIn. I enjoyed it and wish you all the best. As we reach the end of this live stream, I would like to drop a quote for this episode. And I hate this topic I'm going to talk about, but it looks like we are experiencing it day after day and century after century. Um, the quote is about war, and I found an impressive one. Would love to share it with my audience. War is a cowardly escape from the problems of peace. We can still live in peace, enjoy all the same rights, and practice the respect to our human nature. I know it's a big industry, and nations survive on wars, basically on other wars. But by the end of the day, no one benefit from war. Let's all live in peace. And by this, I want to leave everyone with the best wishes and to all live in peace. Thank you again. And this was Nidal Haykal.